All right, guys, real quick video. One thing I forgot to mention when I was doing my retro video game pickup videos. Through eBay, I picked up something that I didn't know if I had before. It looked familiar, but then when I looked through it, I'm like, oh, wow. I had this as a kid. The shitty part is there's really only one that I could find of this, and it's falling apart. But, you know, the binding and things. But let me just quickly show you guys what it is. It is the Nintendo Game Boy Player's Guide. Okay, the only official guide to over 130 Game Boy games published by the pros at Nintendo. So this is a really cool book. Let me just see if I can go down with it here. Yeah, as best as we got. So let me just quickly show you. Let me zoom in actually. There we are. So here you have action, adventure, puzzle, RPG, sports, and all that stuff. There's in-depth reviews. Let me just quickly read you this. Game Boy Grows Up. This was published around 1990, 1991 or so. This is a really cool picture, I thought, of the robotic hands with the Game Boy, as you can see. But Game Boy Grows Up, okay? There's no keeping up with the ever-expanding Game Boy library, though the Game Boy Player's Guide is a good place to start. It's chock full of winning strategies, maps, and special tips for 28 of the best games for the leading compact video game system. When you're playing ultra-challenging games like Tetris, Castlevania, Operation C, Gargoyle's Quest, and the Final Fantasy Legend, it pays to know what your next move should be. And that's what this guide, brought to you by the pros who create Nintendo Power, is all about. So you want to know how to refill your energy instantly in TMNT Follow the Foot Clan? Save the world from the Bido Empire in R-Type? Soar by your friends in a Game Link match of Dr. Mario? Read on. You should also check out the thoroughly researched Game Boy directory and index. There you'll find descriptions, screenshots, Game Link info, and power meter scores for all of the Game Boy games to date. Use this valuable guide to over 130 Game Boy titles when choosing your next compact challenge. Games in the directory are broken up into 6 categories: action, adventure, puzzle, quiz, and productivity, RPG, and sports. The action category is the largest. It covers games that require quick reflexes and steady hands. Games in the adventure category are usually long action-oriented quests that involve decision-making. The puzzle category is made up of brain teasers that take a lot of thought and strategy to master. In puzzle games, you've got to know all of the pieces and figure out how they fit together in order to reach your end goal. The quiz and productivity category covers game show adaptations and the new series of Infogenous game packs. Games in the RPG or role-playing category are adventures that focus more on character building and puzzle solving than action. And the sports category speaks for itself. Most of the games in this group are game linkers that are great for solo play or for a friendly challenge with your pals. Even more Game Boy games are being developed as this guide goes to press. Keep watching. Look for more Nintendo Player's Guides for the most complete game coverage from the pros. And to the best of my knowledge, this is the only one that actually exists. But let me just show you, they have in-depth strategies for Super Mario Land, okay, as you can see here. A new princess to rescue in the untamed land of Sarasaland await you in Mario's first Game Boy adventure. The setting is strange, but the theme is familiar and fun. It's a whole new world, they say. So, let me move this back. There we go. Alright. So you have this. Then there's TMNT Follow the Foot Clan. The Turtles tear up the Technodrome. Jump into the sewers with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles as they fight through 5 Foot Clan-packed stages to Krang's high-tech hideout. It's martial arts action with ninjas, mousers, and pizza. So you have... And there's a one-shot refill code where you instantly get your money, or you get your life up, okay? Then you got Batman. Batman faces his most famous foe. Batman, the masked vigilante of Gotham, will stop at nothing to see that the city's thugs and hoodlums are put behind bars. Now a new villain emerges, and the Caped Crusader is on his trail. So you got a Batman little mini strategy guide. Operation C. Strike back against mad mobs from space. Get ready for out-of-this-world combat in Ultra's Operation C. The rapid-fire pace and explosive action will test your shoot-'em-up skill as you go it alone against hordes of aliens and androids. One of my favorite Game Boy games of all time was Operation C. It was awesome. It's Contra clone, made by the same people. Great game. Double Dragon, street fighting martial arts action. This is one of the hardest games I've ever played. I'm horrible at it at this one. If you're searching for bone-crunching martial arts action, look no further. The plot, moves, and enemies are straight out of the NES version, but Game Boy Double Dragon provides a new dimension, portability. So, tactical overviews here. You got Nemesis, for hire. Space aces only need apply. In space, only the aliens will hear you scream. But if you've got what it takes to fly a starfighter through the most hazardous mission of all, then you're ready for Nemesis. Pretty good shooter from what I can remember. Okay. And you got Castlevania the Adventure. The Terror of the Night returns. The name of the game may be the same, but the Castlevania adventure is all new. Simon Belmont, vampire hunter extraordinaire, returns to the Transylvanian haunts of Count Dracula. And you got Gremlins 2. Mogwai mayhem in a high-tech tower. When Gizmo, the car Mogwai, gets wet, he spawns armies of evil creatures. And now that 4 of them are loose in the technological wonder Clamp Center, he's got to find a way to put an end to their reign of terror. One of the hardest games I think I've ever... I think the Angry Video Game Nerd went over this. The Hunt for Red October, a daring defection across the Atlantic. Soviet submarine captain Marco Ramius intends to defect to the United States with the top-secret Red October. All that stands in his way are the dangers of the Atlantic and the entire Soviet fleet. Got Hunt for Red October here. R-Type, Battle from Beyond. Bloodthirsty aliens are on a collision course for Earth. They have a lot of firepower, but you have the R-Type. Solar Striker. Free the solar system from alien tyranny. Strap yourself into the Solar Striker spaceship, the last hope of Earth, against the aliens from Reticulon. You'll need light speed reflexes in the 6 blazing action stages. Got Revenge of the Gator. Potent pinball against Gator and friends. Pinball with a southern twist as the Gator and friends leap into your Game Boy in their version of pinball. You got Tetris. The lines form here. Put together a winning strategy with some basic moves and advanced tips for everyone's favorite blockbuster. You got Dr. Mario. It's a prescription for fun. Dr. Mario has started a player's epidemic. Call the doctor. Whoa. Quirk. Trendy Tomato heads up and moves out. A compelling puzzler from Acclaim, Quirk is a great choice for players who enjoy challenging their wits. Every piece has its place, and believe it or not, there's a solution for every room. Solomon's Club. A final test of mastery for a would-be magician. The little brother of the NES classic Solomon's Key arrives on the screen of your Game Boy. Quarth. Blockbusters defend the Quarth Dome. A blockbuster puzzler from Ultra, Quarth requires a sharp eye and sharper reflexes. By firing at the shapes that fall from the top of the screen, eagle-eyed pilots prevent them from crashing into their ships. And you got Gargoyle's Quest. Enter the ghoul realm if you dare. With moody music and gruesome graphics, Gargoyle's Quest transports you to the mystical ghoul realm. It combines elements of adventure and role-playing games to create the ultimate Game Boy challenge. Cosmo Tank. Defend the space colonies. 5 planetary colonies are under attack by alien forces. It's up to you to pilot the Tiger space tank through 3 types of alien blasting action. Destroy the life cores and free the colonies. Fortified Zone. The challenge of a career for expert commandos. Have you ever wanted to be an expert commando with the training and ability to penetrate any defense, or a secret agent with the mission of destroying an enemy base? In 1-player or 2-player game-like mode, your mission is to enter the Fortified Zone. Disney's DuckTales. Scrooge McDuck and world-hopping adventure. Travel the globe with Scrooge McDuck in search of the world's most valuable treasures. From the Amazon jungle to the far reaches of the Himalayas, you'll discover action and fun in Disney's DuckTales. Now this is where the book kind of gets destroyed. The Final Fantasy Legend. Solve the mysteries of a tall tower. You've been challenged to climb to the top of a dark tower that is riddled with mysteries and monsters. Gather a group of warriors and journey through 4 world-sized floors. And this obviously falling apart here. Then you got the Sword of Hope. A kingdom is cloaked in darkness. Mysteries, battles with monsters, dark quests through forests, caves, and remarkable castles are just the beginning of the adventure in the Sword of Hope. Listen closely to the tale. And then you got the game that started my retro collecting again, Ultima Ruins of Virtue, a search for virtue in a dark age. Enter the realm of Lord British in FCI's latest addition to the Ultima series. Combining mystery and action in a battery-backed adventure, it's the ultimate quest for the role-playing enthusiast. Now, this is interesting. If you've watched any of my retro video games, my first video game video, I think, with the Game Boy games that I have, I talked about how this is the first game ever, RPG-wise, that I ever played, and the last until Kingdom Hearts came out for the PS2. I swore off RPGs. I said I'd never play them in my entire life because I had to find the 8 ruins, or 7 or 8 ruins, and I've only had 6 or 7. And I couldn't find this last cave. So then when I got this book, I was like, oh my God, I'm finally going to find the cave. Here it says, discover the 8 ruins. I said, I'm finally going to find the cave. Well, guess what? They only show you 6 of the caves. Okay? 2 more caverns to go. They don't show you the 7th. They don't show you the 8th. So then you got sports titles. Golf. Tee up for a hole in fun. Nintendo Golf for Game Boy isn't just for duffers. The challenge of the 2 courses keeps the game exciting no matter how often you play. All the elements of real golf are yours to master. Got the USA course and the Japan course. F1 race. Rev up for a race around the world. F1 race is formula racing on 14 challenging international courses. Join the Grand Prix circuit or use the 4-player adapter, which comes with the game, to compete with up to 3 other F1 racers. Days of Thunder. Climb behind the wheel for a NASCAR stock car. Climb behind the wheel of a NASCAR stock car. Minscape's entry in the racing game field features a driver's perspective from behind the wheel, just like in real competition. The efficiency of the pit crew can make or break a champion. You'll face seasoned pros, so practice before beginning the season. Super RC Pro-Am, one of my favorite racing games of all time. Radio-controlled racing at its best, at least on the Game Boy. From the starting line to the red line, Super RC Pro-Am is high-octane action. Race against the game or for hotter competition against up to 3 friends using the new Game Boy 4-player adapter. And then you have the Game Boy Directory, where it goes over the different games. So you have Amazing Penguin. Fill in the blanks in a wild chase. Okay. Run from wacky enemies along the... This is a 1-player with password feature. From Natsume. Run from wacky enemies along the borders of connecting rectangles in this fast game with dozens of levels. When all the eggs around a rectangle are broken, it will be filled with a design and the enemies on the borders will be knocked out of the picture. Fill in all of the shapes while avoiding enemy contact and you'll move on to the next room. Some rooms feature detailed drawings of the penguin hero when all the shapes have been filled. Then you got the Amazing Spider-Man from Marvel Entertainment and LJN. The Web Slinger Fights Back 1-player game. For action. The deadly foes of Spider-Man have somehow discovered his secret identity and kidnapped Mary Jane. Now, predictably, he's got to take them on one at a time to free her. Guide him to victory over classic foes like Mysterio, the Green Goblin, and the Scorpion. Spidey can punch, kick, shoot webbing, swing from buildings, and climb walls. With all those powers, it will take some time to master the controls. You got Balloon Kid, for a 2-player Game Link action game from Nintendo. A lofty chase over a fantasy land. A girl sets out to find her brother who has floated away in a bushel of balloons. Carrying only 2 balloons of her own, she's got to brave a world of balloon-popping bugs and birds in order to save him. Her adventure takes her through a forest, over a sea, in the belly of a whale and beyond. The simple theme and play control make this a game that is easy for beginners to understand, although it may be too basic for expert players. Then you got Batman, which we've already covered, from Sunsoft. The Cape Crusader patrols Gotham. Fight through the Gotham City underground and fly over its unfriendly skies in a 4-stage thriller that follows the storyline of the Batman movie right down to the acid bath origin of the Joker. The Batman character is small on the Game Boy screen, but he's got a lot of wonderful toys that make him a very big crime-fighting force. In one stage, Batman climbs into the Batwing and fights the Joker forces in the air. Joker's forces in the air. Then you got Battle Bull, 2-player Game Link password from Sita. Having machine-crunching action. Battle Bull is short for Battle Bulldozer. You are in control of a high-tech earth mover in a maze-like arena. You can take out your opponents by crushing them with the bricks of the maze wall. If you're victorious, you can spend your winnings on new equipment like turbo engines, super shovels, and grenades. With Game Link play, you can challenge a friend to a mighty bulldozer battle. Keep pushing and don't get cornered. Boomer's Adventure in Asmic World. It's a 2-player game link password backup from Asmic Corporation of America. Climb a tower of puzzles. Asmic's dinosaur mascot Boomer starts at the ground floor of a puzzle-packed tower and works his way up floor by floor. It's a theme that is used in a lot of games, but a few innovations make this one interesting. Boomer can collect weapons to toss at the many unusual enemies that chase him. He can dig holes as traps to slow them down, and he can collect a compass that points to the buried tower keys. Then you got Battle Unit Zeoth, a 1-player game from Jalico. A super robot battles alien forces. Battle Unit Zeoth is a futuristic 5-stage battle over an alien city. You've got to keep one finger on the fire button and one finger on the jetpack throttle button in order to stay in the air and keep blasting enemy tanks and hover ships. Collect enough power-up items and you'll be able to fire as many as 4 shots at once. The sound effects in this adventure are fantastic and the alien leaders are out of this world. Then you got Bubble Bobble, 1-player password backup from Taito. Suds and fun with kooky creatures. Take on a world of wacky enemies in this action puzzler that has, in the past, been big in the arcades and on the NES. Clear away creatures by encasing them in a bubble, then push them out of the picture. It's an enjoyable game along the lines of the Pac-Man series. A password feature allows you to save your place in the game as you make your way through dozens of stages. Next we have Bubble Ghost, 1-player game from Info Games and Pony Canyon, or FCI. You'll get blown away with Bubble Trouble. Cute graphics and music and ever more difficult puzzles are the basis of Bubble Ghost. In each room you must use the ghost to blow a bubble past a variety of ingenious traps such as needles, candles, and fans. If the bubble touches anything, it pops and you'll have to start over. As you progress from room to room, the bubble traps become more ingenious and difficult to clear. Multiple players alternately take turns and compare high scores. Bugs Bunny's Crazy Castle, 1-player password feature from Kemco. That wascally wabbit is on the one. Inside the Crazy Castle, Bugs Bunny picks up carrots and boxing gloves while being chased up ladders and through pipes by bad tunes like Wile E. Coyote and Sylvester the Cat. Each room is a maze with carrots on different levels. Grab all the carrots to clear the stage and punch the bad guys who get in your way. The graphics are good, and so is the sound. Passwords save the game so you don't have to finish it in one sitting. Bugs Bunny Crazy Castle 2, also from Kemco. 1-player password backup. Bugs returns for another adventure. Squeeze through pipes and climb ladders to help Bugs through 28 challenging rooms of the next Crazy Castle, making sure that you find all 8 keys in every room. You can use pickaxes to climb, hammers to smash, arrows, bombs, invincible potions, and many other items to help you on your way. Smooth action and increasingly difficult rooms make this game a real treat for any Game Boy fan. Here you got Barai Fighter Deluxe, 2-player game link password feature, Deluxe Interstellar Blast. Barai Fighter Deluxe is based on an NES game of the same title. The warrior in his futuristic battlesuit flies about, zaps aliens, and collects weapon enhancements like lasers. The game control is very good, similar to the NES game, and each stage provides a challenge in either horizontal or vertical scroll or both. Passwords are a big help, but fast reflexes and the ability to learn enemy attack patterns are the real keys to the game. So that is part 1 of the retro Game Boy games here. What I'm going to do is say goodbye for now. Stay tuned for part 2.